Hello everyone and welcome to an interview with Faith Shawnee. Thank you very much for joining us. In this session we're going to be learning about Leo Crowd and this thing called crowdfunding. Faith, welcome. Thank you very much. I understand you are the Leo Crowd project coordinator.
I am. Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. So we'd really like to understand more about what makes Leo Crowd so special, but also what crowdfunding actually is.
I think I should probably start with what crowdfunding is and give people a bit of an overview. Crowdfunding is essentially a financing model for businesses. So anything really, from a small product business to someone that might want to raise money for a film or creative project. It's an alternative method of financing, whereas before people would have to go to banks and get loans or find investors, and a lot of the time there are a lot more hurdles to jump through with that. And most businesses and ideas tend to have a crowd as such of people who are interested in what someone's doing or who have a particular interest in a product type. And it's a really nice way for people to just get financing through the people who would normally support their businesses anyway. So future customers, for instance. Or, you know, I know of various different crowdfunding campaigns that musicians and filmmakers have done, and depending on the niche of the film or the type of music, there's always going to be a market for it. So it's really just leveraging your crowd and leveraging your market to raise the finances you need for whatever your project or business is. In the most simple terms, if you have an idea, you share it with the world and find the right people to back your idea. And it kind of negates the need for anybody else to get involved and to go through any of the old systems such as banks.
I mean, that sounds amazing. So I could ask my friends, my family.
Absolutely.
I could put it on social media.
Yeah.
I could let other people know and ask them for money. What's going to make them give me that money? Okay, so maybe my friends I can understand, my family I can understand, but others?
So a lot of the time there's various different models of crowdfunding. The easiest and simplest one is rewards-based crowdfunding. So obviously you get something back for however much you give to the project. So let's say a project is raising money to open a restaurant, and their donations might start between £5 and £150, or maybe even more. For £5 you might get a mention on their social media page and a thank you. For £10 you might get a t-shirt or a mug that has something to do with the business. For £50 you might get a voucher for dinner. Or your name on a plaque within the restaurant. And then, you know, they'd probably go up. So let's say for £500, you'd get a day learning to cook in the restaurant or have a chef's table dinner for 6 people. Or the rewards are multiple and varied, but it's always buying into the idea. And obviously the higher the amount that you give in, the better the reward is.
Oh, okay. So you've been mentioning maybe a musician or someone in the food industry. What about Leo, and what is this thing Leo Crowd that everyone keeps talking about?
So Leo Crowd is essentially another crowdfunding platform, but we're coming at it from a slightly different angle. So we're not just going out there and opening up crowdfunding to anyone and everyone. We're looking specifically for projects that are people and planet focused. So for change makers, people who really want to make a difference in the world, people whose products and ideas are really out there to make a big impact and affect people's lives or the environment in a positive way, which for me is a really nice take on the crowdfunding model. It'll be open to everyone all across the world, and it's that rewards-based system. So however much people are willing to put in, the project creators then create rewards that are equal to that monetary value.
Okay, so what if I give some money to someone for their project, but they just take my money? I mean, have I got any comeback on that, or?
Okay, so we have a lot of systems in place which vet each and every project that comes through the doors. We go through all the usual regulatory checks on the person whose project they're creating.
Well, that's reassuring. Okay, so putting myself on the other side, I do have this idea I'm passionate about. I really think it could change something, maybe in a certain country or for a certain type of people. So I fit that kind of change maker type model. What do I need to do? At the moment, it is just an idea.
Okay, so the really amazing thing that we're doing at Leo Crowd that kind of puts us outside of the box of the rest of the crowdfunding platforms is that we're creating education models for anybody coming onto the website to access online e-courses which will run you through absolutely everything you need to know, from writing a business plan, creating a strategy, how to film your crowdfunding video, what kind of rewards you might want to create, how to successfully fund your project, and then how to treat the rewards given out and, you know, the aftercare of looking after your business and your backers. So unique in a sense that we really are not just providing a little guidebook, but really taking people through the step-by-step process of what it takes to build and run a successful crowdfunding campaign.
Oh, that sounds brilliant. I mean, if I'm new into this, I could use all the guidance possible, and it's free.
Yeah.
I mean, I just think that's fantastic. So, okay, got my idea. I've watched the videos. I have got a little business plan. I'm making it sound really good. I've got a little bit of a crowd. So what's next?
So the next thing that you would do is start building your profile so you'd register as a user and as a creator on the website. You're going through the course, you'd start to input all that data, start to put, you know, nice little chunks of that business plan in so that people can see what you're doing. You'd then go and film your crowdfunding video, maybe make some really nice graphics, tell a bit of a story, make the business plan look less like a business plan and a lot more like an exciting pitch that gets people interested, that tells your story, and that gives a real background about where you're coming from, why you're passionate about your idea. And then the biggest thing, which we cover in the course as well, is how to build your crowd. So go, as you said, friends and family are always the best place to start. From there, you're going to want to go out and build your social media. You know, a couple of thousand followers on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram or whatever it is that you want to use can be really, really valuable. And building the story up until the point where you launch your campaign and go live means that people have already started following what you're doing. Then going out and getting normal media, so print media, if you can get yourself interviewed by any magazines, maybe things that are specific to what you're doing. So if it's music, maybe a music magazine, or, you know, if it's food, maybe going out and finding food bloggers or local news that might want to cover your story. Once you've got all of that in place, it's really easy to start building your campaign. And then when you feel that you're completely ready, you hit the live button, and off it goes. And then you'll need to just set how many days you want to fund for. The ideal is between 40 and 45 days, so your campaign will run for that amount of time, and that's the amount of time you have to really get to grips with raising that money.
That's actually quite a short amount of time.
It is.
Is that the normal thing?
The reason is because if you give it too long, there tends to be a lag and a delay where things plateau. Whereas if it's a lot faster and shorter and you get as much of that money in through the door at the beginning as possible, it hits a certain level, and then people can see, oh, okay, there's not much time left, and it motivates people to want to donate before the end date, really. So if you leave it too long, people kind of forget about what you're doing. They might go, oh, I'll come back to it next week, and then, you know, a month down the line, they've forgotten about it. Whereas if there's a definite end date, it motivates people to really start putting their money in right from the start.
Yeah, no, that sounds good. And I'm guessing that you're not saying don't find other forms of funding if you've got this business idea.
No, absolutely not.
They can complement each other.
Oftentimes crowdfunding is a really good, particularly rewards-based crowdfunding, is a really good place to start if you're a startup that just has an idea, you haven't really got your business running yet, and you really want to, or if it's just a new product on your line and you want to use the money for research and development and actually getting that product built and out there to the crowd. From then you can, and something that we're going to be doing with Leo Crowd is taking that forward, and once your business has been running for a little while and you've proven that it works and you've got some sales through the door, is then doing a second round and looking to investors and maybe using an equity model of crowdfunding, which we're hoping to do further down the line at Leo Crowd.
Oh, it's great. You've got these plans for the future already.
Absolutely.
So, because Leo is an international company, Leo Crowd will have all the necessary tools and everything's available, different languages, different currencies.
Absolutely. not only different currencies, but also the Leo coin and Bitcoin options as well for anyone that wants to use them.
Well, I, for one, look forward to seeing how this develops. You never know, you might see me pitching something up on there. But thank you so much for your time and explaining it. And everyone out there, please do take a look at our information online. Until next time.